entered my B school in Goa Institute of Management, I took up the challenge that I wanted to test my boundaries. I started building trust and confidence internally within SAP first, which was, of course, the big part of the challenge. Planning and your strategy and your right values are in place, the numbers follow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series presented by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm Tanay All, and today we have a truly inspiring guest with us. Our guest is someone who has successfully navigated the ever-evolving landscape of enterprise sales and business development, particularly in the Middle East and India. With over 17 years of experience, Akshay S. Nayak has built an incredible reputation in driving sales growth, cultivating strategic relationships, and delivering cutting-edge solutions across various industries, including energy, public sector, defense, and natural resources. He's not just any sales leader. He's someone who's consistently exceeded sales targets, earned prestigious awards, and led team to success. Mr. Nayak's story is a testament to the power of strategic thinking, perseverance, and the ability to turn opportunities into significant business wins. Sir, welcome to the show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Tanay. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this podcast. It's really a wonderful experience with Directors Institute, and to have an opportunity to talk to others who are interested in the sales profession, who are looking at enterprise sales as a chosen career. I will be happy to share my experience. Probably this will come in as a good guidance for them. And lovely talking to you on a Wednesday afternoon. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, sir. The pleasure is all ours. Sir, to start off, I'd like to take a step back and reflect on your journey. I mean, you've built an impressive career spanning over a decade with significant accomplishments across multiple industries from energy to defense. So, as someone who's led business development and sales initiatives at such a high level, I'm curious. Was there a specific moment or experience early in your career that made you realize the path you were on was the right one? A moment that helped shape your passion for sales and business development?
Thanks, Tanay, for this question. It's a lovely question. To be honest, it's something very close to my heart. I was a very introvert kind of a person when I started. Right, I mean, right in my school days, I was a guy with not too many friends, a guy who was very busy in doing stuff on his own, and the first experience I had with building a network, building PR was in my B school. When I entered my B school in Goa Institute of Management, I took up the challenge that I wanted to test my boundaries, test where I can lead in terms of building relationships. And that's when I became the part of my public relations committee in GIM, right, which is Goa Institute of Management. And that really tested the boundaries of how I can really leverage people and the network, and how I can build relations with people. To me, that really opened my eyes in terms of how I can really push boundaries from being an introvert to an extrovert. And the first experience I had with sales was when I was called for an interview with IBM very early in my career, right? That was my first testament to have a sales kind of a career, because all along I was a techie. I started as a computer engineer. I had a background in delivery, and to be honest, it was completely a different dimension to myself. And the interview for IBM itself was something which really pushed me and made me think that yes, this is something that I probably could like as a career, right? And also with my background as a public relations guy in my college, in my B school, this helped catapult and take me into a different dimension of my career. And of course, the journey has been inspiring for me because I met a lot of great leaders, mentors who really nurtured my inner ability to push business for my company and bring in growth. So yeah, it has been a very interesting journey for the last more than a decade, and it's been a learning process all along, right? Wherein I have learned myself and helped mentor people who have learned from me as well. So yeah, it's my journey from my college to my first enterprise in IBM, and then it has been continuing and ongoing for the last 10 plus years.
Lovely. So you managed some incredibly high stakes deals throughout your career, often involving complex multi-million dollar contracts. And I'm sure these moments aren't just about the numbers, right? They're about trust, relationship, and understanding what's truly at stake for both sides. So
Yes.
can you walk us through a specific instance where you faced a particularly challenging negotiation and how you managed to turn it into success? I mean, what was going through your head? What did you learn from the experience? All of it.
So the very interesting and a good perspective I can probably share there, right? So there are a lot of times in B2B scenarios, right? I mean, the kind of business development or sales that I'm doing is a bit complex because you're not dealing with individuals, you are dealing with corporates. And in a corporate landscape, you have different kind of stakeholders. You have influencers, you have champions, you have people who may not really be your favorites. They are probably favoring your competition. So you need to be able to navigate the complex landscape. You need to ensure that you are working with the trusted champions. And at the same time, you have a lot of stakeholders within your company whom you need to work and make a deal work together. So one particular case that I remember is for a oil and gas company which is operating in Iraq region of Kurdistan region of Iraq, and this is a company called Crescent Petroleum. Very close to my heart because this was a deal that everyone at SAP said that it should not be done by us. This is something that it's a complex. One is it's a region where it's volatile. It's in a war-prone area, so we should not really be engaging there. And against all odds, I was convinced because I had a trusted relationship with the customer, right? And I knew that this is a customer that we should have as SAP on board. And though there were a lot of detractors internally, I started building trust and confidence internally within SAP first, which was, of course, the big part of the challenge, which was almost 50% or more than 50% of the challenges. And then once we had enough confidence that, yes, we have the right solutions, we have the right services, it was easier landing to the customer and then building the trust. By virtue of this, what happened is eventually what was seen as a customer that we don't want to have has become one of the most referenced customers within SAP in the last decade. And this has been a success story, not just for us in this region, but globally it has become like a beacon in the Middle East. And this is one landmark or a marquee customer or a lighthouse customer that we want to take as an example how SAP has helped a customer in a very difficult region to uplift and come to a different level. So that's where for me personally, from my career perspective, it has been one of the most complex, challenging, and inspiring stories to tell. And this also kind of gives people a perspective that when the story starts with a no, that's when the real challenge begins, and you can convert it into a yes eventually, right? So that's where I would like to dwell upon.
Yeah, and I'm sure those would be the biggest learning experiences also, to actually turn someone who's not so interested to onboarding that person is a huge learning
Yes,
experience.
it's a huge learning, yes, absolutely.
So achieving 200% of your quota and closing major deals like the one with SEWA is impressive. What strategies did you employ to surpass expectations, and how did you keep your team motivated during such high stake periods?
And a very interesting question. When you are in a sales role, especially in complex B2B sales, right, you need to plan ahead. You need to really work through your year and the year after year, right, in terms of planning, strategizing, picking the right set of customers, qualifying them well, right? You need to, when your stakes are high, especially the kind of numbers that we carry, right, you need to plan well and well ahead, right? Which means that you need to know quarter on quarter which are the deals you're going to land. And the most important factor I've seen is that you need to plan, and plan, right? The more time you spend on planning, your execution becomes smoother. And I have seen that the people who plan well ahead of time, of course, always the actual can change. You've seen a lot of unforeseen circumstances coming in place, but then the planning is what really helps you navigate through this. Now, in terms of high stakes and big numbers, right? I mean, SAP is a target-oriented company. It's a listed company. And especially with listed companies, your shareholders are your real owners. So you are accountable to them in terms of, the revenues that you are bringing on board. So from this perspective, I always feel that the numbers is definitely an outcome. Your planning and the way you strategize is what has to be perfect. It has to be precision in terms of precision. It has to be super. Now, for this particular deal that you highlighted, right, this deal was not easy, especially because it took almost more than 6 months to crack. And this again was a deal which was multi-million-dollar deal, which a lot of guys internally within SAP knew that it's going to be complex. It's not going to be easy in terms of resources, in terms of time, in terms of cost. So for us to be able to structure it in the right way, that's of course acceptable to the client and also acceptable to SAP, it took a bit of a time. But we landed it and we were able to kind of crack this multi-million-dollar deal and ensure that we are bringing in the right revenue, which is also ensuring that it's not a risk for us.
Yeah.
So when we crack a deal, when we go into a deal, right, for us important is that we are building trust, transparency. At the same time, it's not a risk for us. So this has been important. And then, of course, numbers, as I told you, is always an outcome. The numbers follow through. If your planning and your strategy and your right values are in place, the numbers follow through.
Yeah, and if you probably just look at the numbers directly, you won't have the results or the process.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've been a part of the SAP winners circle for multiple years. What do you believe were the key factors that allowed you to consistently outperform expectations and achieve such high levels of success?
Thank you. So, see, SAP has one of the best recognition programs in the industry, which is called the SAP Winners Circle. Now, the Winners Circle is the top 1% of the company who are rewarded with a kind of a 1-week program. You are either sent to a location like Hawaii, or you're sent to Cabo, or you're sent to one of those exotic destinations, right? It's a 1-week fully paid trip where SAP funds your as well as your spouses or your partners expenses fully paid, and it's like the best of best, right? You are awarded with gifts, recognition, they give you a lot of goodies. All of this is done as a part of it. The whole objective is to make sure that you are recognized amongst the entire company, which is almost like 100,000 employees, as the cream of the cream. Now, of course, once you taste success, you want to have that every time, right? And that's the beauty of the company. So when I had my first award, which was probably in 2016, which was the first time I cracked it after I joined the company, it motivated me to kind of do this every year. And to be honest, in the last 10 years I've been with SAP, I've probably done this more than 5 or 6 times. And it's not easy because the targets are always there. They keep on increasing, but which also encourages you to keep on, increasing your own bars of success. So yeah, I mean, if I see the way the planning has been done, and every year we plan, how do I overachieve, and be in that 1% or the top 1% of the quota achievers. So it's been a kind of a fun ride, let me put it this way, because it's the kind of experience you have and your family has, right? Especially your wife. Imagine if your wife is also experiencing the kind of exotic location, she will push you to do better every year. That's
Sure.
also, the motivation is more. So yeah, I mean, it's been a fun ride, and it's been something which you look forward to every year because of the experience you have there. Yeah. So yes, it's been almost 6 times I've done this in the last 10 years. So yes, it keeps you motivated every year to do this.
Yeah, good. I'm sure. Okay. So you've had an incredible career leading major deals and driving business growth in some of the most competitive industries. But outside of all the contracts and strategic decisions, we know the world's changing fast, whether it's the rise of AI, new market trends, or innovations in the energy sector. So with everything that's going on, I'm curious, is there a recent trend or innovation, either in the business world or in your personal life, that's caught your attention, made you think this could really change the game for you or for the entire industry as a whole?
You're right. See, the space that we are right now in, especially in the technology space and otherwise, I'm seeing AI or artificial intelligence catching up big time, right? And if you are not there, you are losing out. Earlier, I mean, about a decade back, the technology used to change every 5 years. It changed to every 2 years. And now every month or every second week, we have new stuff coming in, right? Now, the pace at which the artificial intelligence is developing, and in terms of the use cases that are getting developed for artificial intelligence, it's imperative that all of us embrace it in the right way. Of course, there are fears of its misuse, But I would say that the more you embrace it, the more you are able to use it for your own benefit. The potential is immense. And I see that India and Middle East as such, as a region, has a huge potential. When I see, especially for Middle East in UAE, the rulers here have kind of embraced the technology to such a pace that it has become kind of the global hub for innovation when it comes to artificial intelligence. Now, a case in particular, I'm working with a company called Technology Innovation Institute. Uh, they are doing cutting edge research in this space, not just in artificial intelligence, in crypto, in machine learning, in RPAs. So they see the potential of these technologies. They see that the way the world is changing, you need to make it more and more adaptable, right, in terms of these technologies. So I'm seeing a lot more coming in this space. And the more we are aware and embracing it, the potential is immense. Now, from an SAP perspective, SAP is also promoting artificial intelligence a lot, especially SAP, the way SAP is built in the last 50 years, right? It's a business applications or business enterprise business applications, the way we are, right? So we run almost the top 500 Fortune 100 companies in terms of their data with us. Now, the moment you have data, you are able to make intelligence out of it using artificial, right? So that's where I see that even SAP has a lot of potential to expand in this space. And as advocates from an SAP perspective, I feel that even as professionals, we have a lot of potential in the boardroom to leverage this and take it to the next level. So I see that as a game changer.
So, you've built an incredible track record of success, consistently driving business growth and leading major strategic decisions. As someone who's clearly been at the forefront of innovation and leadership, I'm curious, what next for you? I mean, do you see yourself stepping into a more prominent boardroom role in the future? And how do you imagine your leadership evolving when you take that kind of responsibility?
Perfect. Thanks. So, Tanay, I have a full good body of work across the last 17 years, right? And I have worked with IBM, PwC, and now with SAP for the last 10 years, having dealt with a lot of C-levels, understand what their dynamics are, understand what their priorities are, understand what their key objectives when dealing with shareholders are. So for me, the next level for me would be to move into the boardroom and contribute a bit more than what I am doing now. One is my role currently has been bringing in more business and bringing in more sales to the company. But now I want to go into the next level where I can contribute in terms of giving the valuable insights to the boardroom, which can definitely help in running the company in a much more efficient way according to the corporate guidelines and the corporate governance frameworks. So yeah, I see myself moving into that role, having done these kind of job descriptions across the last 10 plus years.
Absolutely. So, ESG is something we hear a lot about these days, but I'd love to hear your take. How do you personally view the impact of ESG on the way businesses should be run moving forward?
So, very interesting question, and thanks for asking this, Tanay. See, maybe about 5 to 6 years back, ESG was a very unknown or alien concept, right? I mean, a lot of corporates would choose to ignore it. But with a lot of these, scandals or the scams that came in, right? The corporates are more aware now in terms of, what ESG is, in terms of what a good corporate governance also means, right? So there is a lot of focus now in companies to ensure that you are able to comply with the ESG guidelines. That's number one. Number two is in Middle East also in the last 2 years, there's been renewed focus in terms of ensuring that the corporate governance guidelines, which are globally set by UK, by some of the leading nations, right, are being followed. And there is proper minuting, proper recording of all of this. Also, you need to be socially aware. You need to be aware in terms of the markets that you are operating. You are not doing any malpractices. So I feel in terms of the current context, and especially now that most corporates are global, they are not local anymore, right? And even if you are a promoter-driven company, you are still accountable in the markets that you operate in. So it becomes all and more important to have ESG guidelines followed. It becomes all and more important for you to ensure that you are not failing anywhere in compliance. So I feel most companies will find this to be a kind of a mandate now, rather than just something that they could earlier just ignore. So yes, I see that a big game changer in terms of corporate governance.
It is one of the way forwards, right? From now on, like so many things, I think
Yes,
it's good that we're also catering to something which is so important.
absolutely, absolutely.
So you've been involved with the Directors Institute for some time now. What's one thing that's really stood out to you about being part of the network, and how has it shaped your perspective or approach?
Thanks. So Tanay, I came across this, program by chance. I was looking for something to uplift my career in terms of, getting new insights, new knowledge, and I was looking at different management programs to kind of, take myself to the next level. Because the last course that I did was almost more than a decade back, when I did my B school, right? And I was looking at my next level of education. When I came across this course, I had a lot of skepticism in terms of, oh, is it probably the right? Maybe will I be able to devote the right amount of time for this or not? But believe me, in the last couple of months, I have really enjoyed the experience so far. Okay. The best part is the kind of network, the kind of live sessions that I have been having, they're quite inspiring. I mean, you hear perspectives from different people who are at different positions in their careers. Some from finance, some from law background, some from marketing, and even some of the coaches, right, who are there, who are running conducting these sessions. They come in with a depth of experience from the boardroom, which really is insightful. I mean, that's something which I never had a perspective in the past. So for me, this is really an eye opener, and I am really looking forward to finishing this course with the Directors Institute, and looking at what is the potential that it has in terms of taking my career to the next level.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Your insights today have truly been valuable.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing your experience and perspectives with us. It's clear that your approach to leadership and business is both forward thinking and deeply rooted in authenticity. We at Directors Institute wish you continued success and look forward to seeing all the great things you will undoubtedly accomplish in the upcoming few years.
Thank you so much, Tanay. It's been lovely talking to you. I hope my experience can come in handy for someone who's really looking forward into a sales or a business development career. And I'm always available to connect and discuss more about further opportunities and learnings. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tanay.
And with that, we conclude today's episode. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you inspiring stories from inspirational leaders like Mr. Nayak. We hope we're leaving you with new insights and ideas to fuel your own journey. Until then, keep pushing boundaries, stay curious, and as always, keep making a meaningful impact in your life. And of course, enjoy the journey.